Hey everyone, it's Susan Arno Smith with a weekly vlog about writing your novel. And today we're going to start talking about the rewrite. Now, you might not be ready for this now, but at some point you will be, especially if you've done the Stephen King model, which is to write the whole darn thing from the beginning to the end at the end, and then give it a chance to really sit for a while so you can think about it, rest, and give it a new shot and a new perspective. If you've been able to do that and you're now ready to come back to it, here's what I recommend. The very first thing to do is to print out the darn thing from the beginning to the end, because there's something about having an enormous stack of paper on your desk. You generated this. You created this. This is yours. Think about that for a minute. Really feel the heft of it. Look at it. This manuscript is brilliant just because it came out of you. So start there, and then before you ever read, here's what you need to do. You need to think through what it's about and write it down, just a few sentences worth, and stick that in a drawer. And then figure out a time when you can read this whole thing straight through, either straight through or in a couple of sessions that are close together. And if you think you don't have time for that, think about this. You give yourself permission to sometimes veg watch a whole season of, oh, nothing's coming into my head right now, but you get the idea. And if you can sit there and watch a whole season's worth of something, and one day you can figure out a time to get your beautiful, brilliant, breathtaking book actually read from beginning to end in either one session or a couple of sessions close together. Once you do that, and just look at it all the way through. Just read it all the way through. Just read it as if you're a reader, because right now, in this moment of time, that's who you are. And now what I want you to do is to take out those couple of sentences and ask yourself, is this working? Does this story work? Is this the story that I meant to tell? Are there parts of it that sag? Are there parts that I forgot? Are there parts that are confusing or that wander off? Are there parts I just plain don't need? Another big question, are there parts that when I was reading, I just, I got a little bored, and I actually thought, wow, if I didn't have a compelling reason to keep reading, as in I actually own this and it came out of my head and heart, I would never pick it up again. That's important. So feel free to scribble notes, feel free to put little doodle faces and arrows, but you're not rewriting. All you're doing is just absorbing. You're absorbing information. So that's what you're doing this week. If you're in the process right now where you're beginning to do the work of the rewrite, you also are able to free up the rest of your brain for starting to take notes on your new idea. So write, and I'll see you next week.